Most people say they want an extraordinary life. They want success, freedom, confidence, and impact. But if you look around, the majority of people remain in roughly the same place year after year. The strange part is that it's rarely because they lack intelligence or opportunity. Often, the real reason lies in a set of invisible mental traps that quietly keep people stuck in average patterns. These traps feel normal, comfortable, and even logical. But over time, they quietly limit growth. One of the first mental traps is the comfort zone. The human brain is designed to conserve energy and avoid risk. From an evolutionary perspective, safety meant survival. Trying something new meant uncertainty, and uncertainty could mean danger. Because of this, the brain often prefers predictable routines over uncomfortable growth. Staying average usually doesn't feel like failure in the moment. It simply feels familiar. But the comfort zone has a hidden cost. It protects you from discomfort, but it also blocks new skills, experiences, and opportunities. Another powerful trap is social comparison. Humans constantly measure themselves against others. But instead of comparing themselves to people who are striving for excellence, many people compare themselves to the average behavior around them. If everyone in your environment procrastinates, complains about work, and avoids taking risks, those behaviors start to feel normal. Psychologists call this social norming. People unconsciously adjust their behavior to match the expectations of their group. Over time, the standard for what feels good enough slowly drops. There is also the trap of delayed consequences. Many habits that keep people average don't produce immediate damage. Watching too much entertainment, procrastinating on goals, avoiding difficult tasks, or choosing comfort over discipline often feels harmless in the moment. But success and failure both compound quietly. Small daily choices accumulate over months and years. Because the consequences are delayed, the brain struggles to connect today's behavior with tomorrow's results. This makes average habits easy to repeat. Another mental pattern that keeps people stuck is the fear of judgment. Humans are deeply sensitive to social approval. Throughout history, being rejected by the group could threaten survival. Even today, the fear of looking foolish, failing publicly, or being criticized can feel extremely uncomfortable. As a result, many people avoid taking bold actions. They don't share ideas, start projects, or pursue unusual paths because they imagine how others might react. Ironically, the opinions they fear most often come from people who are also stuck in the same average patterns. Perfectionism can also become a hidden trap. At first glance, perfectionism looks like a strength. It sounds like high standards and attention to detail. But psychologically, perfectionism often masks fear of failure. When people believe everything must be perfect before they act, they delay starting. They wait for the ideal time, the perfect plan, or complete certainty. But real progress rarely begins under perfect conditions. People who grow the most are usually those who are willing to start imperfectly and improve along the way. Another powerful mental barrier is what psychologists call learned helplessness. When individuals experience repeated setbacks or discouragement, they may begin to believe that effort doesn't matter. Even when new opportunities appear, they hesitate to act because they expect failure. This mindset can quietly trap people in situations far below their potential. The most dangerous part is that learned helplessness feels realistic to the person experiencing it. They aren't consciously choosing to stay average, they simply believe change is unlikely. Distraction has become another major factor in modern life. The human brain naturally seeks novelty and stimulation. Social media, entertainment platforms, and constant digital notifications exploit this tendency perfectly. Every scroll offers a small burst of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Over time, this creates a habit loop where the mind prefers quick stimulation over sustained focus. But meaningful achievements usually require deep concentration and long periods of effort. When attention is constantly fragmented, progress becomes slow and inconsistent. There is also the trap of short-term thinking. Many people prioritize immediate comfort over long-term benefit. Skipping the workout feels easier today. Avoiding the difficult conversation feels safer. Delaying the challenging project feels less stressful. The brain tends to value present rewards more than future ones, a phenomenon psychologists call temporal discounting. Unfortunately, extraordinary results almost always require consistent effort over long periods of time. Another subtle mental trap is identity limitation. People often define themselves with invisible boundaries. Someone might believe they are not the type of person who takes risks, not good at business, or not naturally disciplined. These beliefs become mental scripts that guide behavior. When opportunities appear, the mind filters them through these identities. If the opportunity doesn't match the person's self-image, they hesitate or withdraw. Over time, identity becomes a powerful force shaping what people believe is possible for them. Interestingly, the path out of average thinking doesn't usually require dramatic change. It begins with awareness. When people recognize these mental traps, they can start questioning the automatic patterns guiding their behavior. Instead of asking, "What feels comfortable right now?" they begin asking, "What action moves me closer to the person I want to become?" Growth also requires deliberately stepping outside familiar environments. When individuals surround themselves with people who think bigger, work harder, and pursue ambitious goals, their internal standards begin to shift. What once seemed extraordinary gradually starts to feel normal. The brain adapts to new expectations. Another important shift is learning to value progress over perfection. People who improve consistently focus on small actions repeated daily. They understand that mastery is built through imperfect attempts, feedback, and gradual adjustment. Each step forward builds confidence and momentum. Developing tolerance for discomfort is equally important. Almost every meaningful achievement requires periods of uncertainty, frustration, and effort. Instead of interpreting discomfort as a signal to stop, successful individuals learn to view it as evidence of growth. The brain gradually adapts to challenges when they are faced repeatedly. Ultimately, most people don't stay average because they lack potential. They stay average because invisible psychological patterns quietly guide their decisions. Comfort zones, social expectations, fear of judgment, distraction, and identity beliefs shape daily choices more than people realize. But the moment someone becomes aware of these mental traps, a new possibility appears. The patterns that once felt automatic can start to be questioned, and when thinking changes, behavior begins to change as well. In the end, the difference between an average life and an extraordinary one is rarely a single dramatic event. It's the accumulation of small decisions made differently over time. The mind can be the greatest limitation, but it can also become the greatest tool for growth.